Hey church, I'm Andrew Lacasse, and I'm here with Pastor Larry, our missions pastor. And how long have you been our missions pastor, Larry?
Officially about 4 years, and then prior to that, I was involved in missionary care, so helping receive the missionaries as they come off and on the field, help maybe do some training with that as they're coming off the field, and maybe they need a cell phone connection, or maybe they need to see a doctor, or maybe they need some housing temporarily. So for about 5 or 6 years prior to that 4-year period, I helped with that in our missions department.
Very cool. So I get a benefit that you don't get. So Larry and I, our offices are right next to each other. So we get to kind of talk and work together and download what we're learning and thinking. And so you're going to be on staff today, and you get to benefit from some of Larry's just knowledge as I do. And so, because we do right now, we're reading, we're thinking, we're rethinking, we're retooling.
Absolutely.
And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I've been reading a lot about just helping folks in poverty, and something that I've read a lot is to see them not as somebody that you need to fix and change, and you have all the answers and they don't, but how can you learn from them and let them give some value into your life. And so I know you go to a lot of countries, a lot of them experience poverty just every day. Things are difficult, health is difficult, education's difficult, life is difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you learned anything from them? Have they taught you anything about just life, I guess?
Here, what I find interesting is that as we go and we travel and we step into some of these developing nations, or maybe a hard access country where it's difficult to get the gospel, when we start to meet these people that are living in maybe what we would call impoverished areas, they don't see themselves like we see themselves. They don't see that they're as bad off as we see them. They don't see themselves there. And what I learned from them often is their sense of this willingness to share everything they have.
Yeah.
Where they find themselves, they're still sharing meals, they're still sharing homes, and they're sharing their knowledge and living in this community together. And I think that's one of the benefits that we can learn by looking at these folks living in these conditions. We look at them, and at your first glances, you think, oh, what a tough place to find them. And then you spend some time, get invited into their home, have a meal with them, and you find out, wow, I can learn this sheer act of generosity, or the sheer act of kindness, or this willingness to kind of invite folks into their small community.
Yeah. I was one time in Tanzania. This lady washed my hands for me before my meal, and it was the most humbling and kind of awkward, but the most humbling thing was just that you are my guest, and you are the most important person in my world, and pretty amazing.
It's interesting, you talk about that lady washing your hands. I can remember being in Myanmar, in Sitwe, really a rainy day. We had to cross several rice fields, so I'm kind of a mess. On the process of where we're going to have a meal, it was a huge downpour, and so we kind of hid under a metal roof. And then they said, okay, it's time to go. And we walked through this muddy area. And as I walked up the stairs to go in the house, this elderly man, I don't know, I don't want to guess his age, but just a long gray white beard and really thin. And he stopped me, had me pull off my shoes, and he washed my feet. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we came here to provide some care, and they just showed me such love. It was amazing.
I was reading a little while back, this person was writing about how terrible religion is, and they're saying that, all the countries where things are great, education's great, healthcare is great, those are the least religious countries in the world. And the ones that just have all these problems, they're so religious. We think of South America, Africa, Asia, the church is booing there, and if it's not the church, it's another religion. And he was saying, see, look what all the problems religion causes. And it's like, wow, but when you go to these places, I think you see a level of they know their need for the Lord. They know the trust in the Lord. Have you seen that?
Yeah, and actually it's interesting you say that, because as we see them come to Christ, they know what they've given up. They know what they've turned away from. And their commitment to the Lord is 100%. When they've turned and repented and walked away from what they had, they're often walking away from friends, family, business, but they're holding tight to the Lord. And I look and see at their commitment and their joy that Jesus has brought into their lives, and I'm encouraged by that. And I think, man, I'd love for all of us to have that same enthusiasm for the Lord.
I know for me, it's I have all these things, so I'm secure, and to see them who don't have all those things and still know their security is always convicting to me. Yeah. So as we think a lot, it's just a time of re-looking at lives and soul searching and thinking about how we do ministry. Anything the Lord's kind of showing you that you could share with us?
It's interesting you say that, because as we've been going through this, let's just say awkward time, because I don't know what to call this time that we're going through, but I'm recognizing some stuff about our culture and then the other cultures that I'm stepping into, and then we look at the teaching in Scripture. But here we spend most of our life, we start our lives completely dependent, on our parents, and then we strive to be independent, and we're super excited when we become independent, whatever that is, whether we're 18, whether we're 25 because we can finally rent a car, or maybe we're 30 because we bought a house, whatever it is, we're striving for this independence, and we're seeking that, and we almost forget to have this dependence on the Lord. And my reminder through this time, whether we're here in the West or we're in the Near East or Far East or Middle East or down in the South, in South America, I realize what I'm being taught is this reminder is that our dependency is not on what we have or who we are or what we've done or what we're going to do. It's this reminder that our dependency is 100% found in Jesus.
That's cool. Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us and sitting with me. And for you, when you get the chance, when we're able to travel again, hit up Pastor Larry and see where you can go, because oh my gosh, when we get out into our world, our viewpoint expands, and it really teaches us, myself included, so much about our lives, our hearts, and just the stuff right around us. So God bless you, and we'll see you soon.
God bless you.